Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 24 updates and spoilers. Happy Wednesday. Our house guests of the day are Cajun Daisha and Lori McIntyre. Thank you both so much for your support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for holla. And I want to thank everybody for being here today. We're going to have a good time. And before we get started, I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. So Norm the Cat, Randall Westgard, Sophie Couch, Dawn MH302, Jody Cortez, Nina Sosa, MJ, Deb Wicks, William Dang, Holly M, and the CAC 16. Thank you all so much for your super chats. My goodness, we have some interesting things to discuss today. I hope you're ready. When we left off yesterday, Terrence and Alyssa were up on the block. We know that Michael wants Terrence out, and we saw the other day there was basically a meeting with all of the voters this week, Brittany, Taylor, Monty, and Turner. They all met up and they were like, what should we do this week? Who do we take out? And they have all agreed they will be voting Terrence out. So they are going along with Michael's wishes here. So that's fine and dandy, but there's been some other stuff going on. Brittany has been overplaying this week. This should be a simple week, right? Very straightforward. Just vote Terrence out and move on. That's fine. But Brittany is trying to make all these plans to set herself up for the future, and it's too much. We saw that she tried to make a final two with Turner. She was spilling all sorts of information to him. But then she was telling other people that she's targeting Turner. So of course, Turner compared notes with people and figured out that Brittany is playing people, pitting them against each other. So as a result, Turner, Monty, and Michael are all working together. For now, it's not really a final three. I don't see these three wanting to go to the end together, but they are working together for now, which is insane. Can you imagine if Turner or Monty win HOH during the double and don't target Michael? That would be absolutely wild. But in other news, we saw Alyssa has been trying to bring the girls together this week. She's saying she wants a final three with Brittany and Taylor. And there's also the Brochella final four of Michael, Brittany, Taylor, and Monty. So those are the main groups that we're seeing here, but it's a whole mess. There's all sorts of stuff happening. All right. So yesterday, Brittany was chatting with Alyssa in the backyard. And these two are tired. Literally, they are tired of staying up until 6 a.m. every night/morning, but they're paranoid that they're going to miss important game conversations if they go to bed too early. I can't even tell you. When I wake up in the morning and I turn on the feeds and see that they're still awake from the night before, I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Go to sleep! I feel like Bethany from Real Housewives of New York, or go to bed, wig, right? A lot of people from Housewives telling other people to go to sleep. But seriously, go to sleep. It's too much. You're going to get into trouble if you stay up too late. So anyway, they would like to get on a more normal sleep schedule where they're actually awake during the day and asleep at night. So they don't want to be vampires anymore. So Brittany says, we just have to pull through and win next week. That's all there is to it. So Alyssa has come up with a name for their final two. She wants to call them Full Circle because she says we were the ones who were supposed to go home week one. We were both backstage. We could have gone home. We were at risk. And then we got separated in the game for a few weeks. And then somehow we found our way back to each other. I mean, were they ever really together when they were part of Girls in the beginning? I don't know, whatever. But Brittany says, oh, I have goosebumps all over. I love it. It's great. So Alyssa is going on and on about how she would love to be sitting next to another woman in the final two. She says it never happens. It happened in BB Can, but I don't know about BB USA. Doesn't Alyssa claim to be a super fan? I will say it does not happen often that we get two women in the final two, but it's def happened. So anyway, and I would love to see it happen again, but know your history, right? Know your history. So Brittany is saying again, we need to win some competitions if we want to make that happen. She's feeling really good about Taylor and Michael, thinks that they've got a good group going. And Brittany lets Alyssa know, you're staying this week. You have the votes. But I want you to know there was discussion about the vote, about maybe voting you out. And it wasn't from me, it wasn't from Taylor, if you know what I mean. So she's saying, like, this was coming from Monty and Turner. And this is actually true. Like, Monty was definitely questioning, should we be keeping Alyssa? Should we keep Terrence? Turner, believe it or not, I never expected Turner would want to vote Alyssa out, but like, he was talking about it. Not so much in that meeting with the 4 voters, but he was bringing it up when Brittany and Turner had their like late night, early morning discussion at like 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. the other night. This conversation has now become infamous, right? Because Turner's been telling everyone about it. Because that's the conversation where Brittany was spilling her guts about all the stuff that she's got going on. But also Turner did say, like, oh, maybe we should take out Alyssa. And he was kind of going through those options. So Alyssa's like, oh, interesting. So Brittany reassures her, look, even if it's a split vote, like, you definitely have me and Taylor. You don't have to worry. And Michael would break the tie in your favor and keep you. So it's gonna be okay. So Brittany says, and also, like, everyone was on board with keeping you by the end of the discussion. So know that. Okay, so Alyssa says she just feels like Monty and Turner have each other at the end of the day, and that's it. Like, they're putting each other above anybody else. And Brittany agrees, and she's like, thank you. I'm so glad you see that, because not everyone sees or believes that. Okay, Brittany has been obsessed this week with trying to figure out, like, are Monty and Turner working together? How close are they? So now hearing this validation from Alyssa, Brittany's just like, ah! All right. But anyway, Brittany tells Alyssa, be very careful of what you say to Turner. She says, I love him, but he slips up a lot. I honestly don't even think she's aware that Turner spilled about their conversation the other night. So she doesn't realize just how much Turner's spilling. But they agree that Turner has been good in competition so far this season. Monty, not so much, right? So Alyssa feels that if Monty did win HOH, he would probably put her up on the block, not necessarily as his number one target, but if he couldn't get Michael, maybe she would become the new target for Monty. And she's thinking that she would be okay with Turner as the HOH, though. So Brittany's like, I wouldn't be so sure that Turner wouldn't go after you based on conversations from yesterday. And Brittany's like, again, she's not lying here. But Brittany says, we have to win. So they talk about how they don't want to target Michael yet because they feel like it benefits their games for him to stay around a bit longer since they are working so closely with him. So then Monty joins them and breaks up that conversation. Okay, so there really was not like anything going on throughout the day yesterday until late afternoon. And then in the evening, things were popping off. So we finally get some game chat in late afternoon. Terrence is campaigning to Taylor in the car bedroom. This conversation was so frustrating to watch. Terrence asked Taylor, why aren't we able to work together? At this point, Terrence is a clown to me. Send in the clowns. Maybe Taylor doesn't want to work with you because you've campaigned against her like every time she's been up on the block. I don't know. Sounds reasonable to me. So Terrence is like, what is this wall that we have to get past? So Terrence he says there's just no way in his mind that Alyssa should be staying over him. He's been using it as a campaign point so far this week that Alyssa has so many jury votes waiting for her if she makes it to the final 2. Terrence is claiming that he is the reason that Taylor stayed the week that she was nominated next to Nicole. He says everybody flipped their votes because I said that I wouldn't vote you out. I put my foot down on that. No. This is insane. Terrence was campaigning for Nicole to stay that week. And Taylor had the leftovers keeping her safe. not Terrence. Dane, those are Steven Sondheim's words. Send in the clowns. But anyway, um, Terrence says, if you want another black person to win this game, do you really think that Alyssa will be on your side with that? No, but neither would you. I mean, we've seen it all season. So Terrence says, I know that you're pissed off at me. I know you hold grudges. The feed's cut. And then when they come back, Terrence is saying, look, I'm not trying to be your enemy. I really do hope that we can find a way to work together. He's got such different energy now that he's on the block. If the roles were reversed, he'd be like, bye. So Taylor says, Terrence, too many T names. Terrence says, I've got everyone except for you telling me that they'll rock with me, that they'll keep me this week. So Taylor's like, who's everybody else? Like, she's actually shocked to hear this. And Terrence says, well, Monty and Brittany said that they would vote for me. Maybe they're not saying it to your face, but that's how they feel. So Taylor's like, well, they have not been expressing that to me, and I have been giving them multiple chances to speak up if that's what they want to do. And yeah, they have not told me that they want to keep you, but like, I'll check in with them. I'll talk to them about it and see what they say. But Terrence is like, yeah, maybe, they could just be paying me lip service, but I don't know. I think they do want to keep me. So Terrence is talking about how Alyssa is and has been so protected in this game. She's managed to evade the block so many times when it looked like she was going to be the one going up. And then all of a sudden there was a change at the last minute. And Terrence says, we have both personally been up on the block instead of her when it looked like it was going to be her. So Taylor's like, yeah, well, obviously we know who's disposable in this game and who's not. And she says she really struggles with that. She's wondering, like, do I really see more value to keeping Alyssa in this game? So Terrence is bringing up again that Monty told him that Monty and Taylor both want a person of color to win this game again. So Terrence says, if you vote me out, then how bad did you really want that? Why vote out an ally for the cause? I'm sorry. Like, this just feels so gross to me when just last week Terrence was trying to keep Kyle over Taylor after Kyle was exposed to have had like a racist line of thinking. But he wanted to keep Kyle to help him learn and grow. And as a result, he would be voting out Taylor, a black woman. So, like, I'm sorry, him using this as a strategy now, it just is so problematic to me. But anyway, Taylor is asking who Terrence would put up if he stayed and won HOH. And Terrence says, I'd have to target Turner because Turner, Kyle, and Alyssa all turned on me when we came back in the house after Dire Fest. Later on in the conversation, Taylor wants to know, like, who would you put up next to Turner? And he does admit he would put up Turner and Michael. And I feel like he would definitely target Michael before Turner, but he didn't want to mention Michael at first because he knows that Taylor is quite close with Michael. But anyway, Terrence says, if I leave, who are your true allies? And Taylor says, yeah, that's been a question for me lately. I'm not really sure. She says that she's really struggled with the choice in front of her, and she lays it out. She's like, is it the white girl who cries all the time? Or is it the black man who tried to get me evicted against someone who did something racist? Ooh, so she's just throwing it all out there. And I have to say, because I know people are going to be like, oh, she's saying that Alyssa's like the white girl that cries all the time. What she says, or what she means when she says that, she's talking about how on like a show like this, or even in real life, when a white girl is crying all the time, most people's reactions are like, oh my God, like, poor Alyssa, what's wrong? Like, let's keep her in the game. We feel bad. But if someone like Taylor is crying, everyone's like, oh, Taylor, so dramatic, so emotional. Like, what's wrong with her? So there's definitely a double standard there. And that's what she means by that. Alyssa has, let's be real, gotten through this game being like, I don't know what's going on. Like, oh my God, I'm so sad. Like, everything's against me. So that's what she means. But anyway, Taylor says it's just a hard pill to swallow, basically, that she's got to pick between Alyssa and Terrence at this point. So this conversation goes on a while longer, and Terrence is now really pushing that he, Monty, and Taylor should all lock in together as a final three. So Terrence is saying Alyssa should have been the one to go during the Dyer Fest week. He really wishes that he had taken the shot at her. You were HOH. You could have done that. Terrence spills how this is interesting. Terrence spills to Taylor how Monty was pulled into that after party alliance after the house reunited. This is a newsflash to Taylor because Monty did not reveal this to her. And now she knows that Monty has not been completely honest with her. He knew that she would be going up on the block during Turner's HOH, right? So, all that being said, I don't see this campaign changing Taylor's mind about this week's vote, but maybe, it could make her change things up moving forward after this week. All right. So, meanwhile, Alyssa and Turner are chatting in the Jetsons' bedroom, and Turner tells Alyssa, "You are my best friend in this house." No, I would never vote you out. I would never put you up. And Alyssa reciprocates. She's like, "No, I would never do that either. Like, you're my best friend in here." So Alyssa says she's nervous because Terrence has been talking to Taylor for forever. Like, should she be campaigning right now? What should she do? She's worried. So Turner says, completely unrelated, "This is going to sound rude, but Brittany is driving me effing crazy." He says he's hearing her voice everywhere. It's just getting on his nerves at this point. He's going to talk about Brittany a bit more in a moment. But first of all, Turner's asking Alyssa, who would you put up if you win HOH? And Alyssa says, I would put up Monty and Michael, the two people that put me up, right? I would have a reason to do that. So Turner's like, all right, cool. I have something to tell you, but it cannot leave this room. And if it does, I'm going to tell everyone who you said you would put up. So Alyssa's like, wait, did you just threaten me? And they're like laughing about it. But also Turner's not joking. Like, he is not effing around. He's like, you better not spread this information to anyone. So Turner says, Brittany told me that you are making endgame plans that don't involve me. She's saying that you're trying to get together a girls thing with Brittany and Taylor. And Alyssa's like, well, she told me the exact same thing about you, that you're making plans without me. So Turner says, of course, Brittany is playing all sides and it is pissing me off. So they compare notes on what Brittany has told them. Brittany told Turner that Alyssa is starting, an alliance with Taylor and Brittany. She told Alyssa that Turner was fighting to send her home. And they both deny these things. But again, the funny part is they are actually true. This information that Brittany is sharing is actually true. Is she trying to turn them against each other? Absolutely. Yes. But the information that she's sharing, these are real conversations that happened. So Turner says, if I win HOH, I'm going to nominate Brittany so hard and go effing crazy in my speech because she is doing this to everyone. She's doing too much. So he says Brittany is slipping up big time. She is playing everyone. She's losing her mind. She's trying to turn us against each other. Yes, but again, they have been saying those things. She's just super messy with who she's sharing information with. So Alyssa says Brittany has got to go. Turner agrees, and he says Brittany is just hanging on to Michael. She's got Flea vibes. Not Brit Flea. By the way, Big Brother released the comics, the BB comics, ahead of the show tonight. So if you haven't seen them yet, check them out. They're all over Twitter, and they are spectacular as always. They're a lot of fun. So Alyssa says Brittany has to go. Turner agrees. He says, oh, I already said that. But Alyssa says, thank you. This conversation really opened my eyes to a lot of shit that I did not know was happening. And she says, I'm going to play Brittany's little game for now that she's got going so I can make it through this week, right? Because Alyssa's on the block. But Alyssa says she is planning on putting Brittany up on the block if she wins HOH. Oh, dang. Okay. So then Turner checks in with Monty in the kitchen. And Turner's like, I was just talking to Alyssa. And Brittany did the same thing to Alyssa that she did to me, trying to make a final two with me, trying to turn me and Alyssa against each other. So Monty's like, wow, Brittany is playing really hard this week. Turner says, yeah, she's going haywire. So Turner says Alyssa is now saying that she would target Brittany. And Turner and Monty are very into this. They want to make sure that this happens. They are encouraging this. They want Alyssa to target Brittany because that will ensure that this like girls alliance that they're so terrified of is not going to happen. Also at this point, like they're working with Michael for now, so which again is just insane. Okay, so Alyssa and Terrence, there was just a flurry of activity now because Terrence was talking to Taylor. Alyssa is like spooked and she's like, I guess I better start campaigning. And then Terrence is still checking in with people and campaigning. So it was a lot, but I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of everything because nothing is changing. The vote is still staying the same. Alyssa is being reassured in these conversations that she's not going anywhere. If you look at Terrence's conversations, people are BSing him. They are telling Terrence, you'll have my vote if you can lock in some of the other ones. Translation, that's going to be a no from me, dog. Whenever people say like, oh, if you can get this many votes, then yeah, I'll vote for you to stay. That means they don't actually want to keep you. They just don't want to be on the wrong side of the vote. All right, all right. Meanwhile, Monty and Turner continue to paint a target on Brittany. As Alyssa and Terrence are campaigning, Monty and Turner are going around spreading the word about Brittany's overplaying. So they let Michael know Brittany made a final two with Alyssa as well. They're telling Michael all these things that Brittany has been saying. Turner talks to Taylor all about Brittany's multiple final two deals and how she's been trying to get people to target each other. And Taylor acknowledges, like, yeah, Brittany has been acting really weird this week. I can tell something is different here. So Taylor also already had a bunch of this info already from Monty. He spilled it to her the other day. But this Alyssa info is new. Okay, so Brittany checks in with Michael in the HOH room. And Brittany's like, all right, I just talked to Terrence, and it seems like he knows he's going. He's not even pitching to me anymore. And it kind of, makes me sad that he's realizing he's going. So Michael's like, that's not what I heard from Monty. According to Monty, Terrence is very much still campaigning to stay. So Michael's thinking maybe Terrence is just going to try to get everyone except for you since they know that we're so close, right? So Michael's asking Brittany, how did your conversation with Alyssa go? And Brittany says, it was really good. I don't think that Alyssa would target me. So Michael asks, has Alyssa talked anymore about working with you and Taylor moving forward? And Brittany's like, well, yeah, she has talked about that, but she has also talked about going to the final three with me and you. So Brittany says, I think Alyssa really just wants to go to the final two with me. Not anymore. So Brittany says she's really nervous that Turner and Monty would target the two of them if they win HOH. She's just so paranoid about Monty and Turner working together. But like, honestly, yes, they would target you for sure. Maybe not Michael anymore, but definitely Brittany. She does not realize how much trouble she's in at this point. Michael is well aware, but he's keeping his mouth shut because he doesn't need Brittany to freak out even more. And then it gets out there that Michael shared all that info with Brittany because then he could be in trouble. So he's not going to fan the flames there. But they talk about Taylor, and Brittany is wondering, do you think somebody said something to Taylor? Because she just seems so panicked when I talked to her the other day. She told me that her whole game hinges on me. So she's asking Michael, you haven't heard anything from Taylor, have you? Oh boy. So Brittany, she says she just feels like someone must have said something to Taylor about Brittany that spooked her. I mean, yeah, multiple people have gone to Taylor now and shared things that you have said to them. So Michael is asking Brittany, like, did you say anything to Turner or Alyssa that they could have like misconstrued and brought to Taylor. Was there anything when you and Turner were up late chatting the other night? Maybe something from that conversation? Brittany's like, about Taylor? No, we didn't really talk about Taylor. So Michael knows that Brittany has not been totally honest with him about these conversations that she's been having, specifically the one that she had with Turner at like 5:30 in the morning the other day. So Michael knows Brittany is really off the rails this week. So Michael then sends Brittany away to make some nachos. And later, in a conversation with Turner, I have to mention, Michael was saying, oh, we're going to have to stop saying that somebody is pooching themselves. Now the term is Brittanying yourself. Oh my God. So Michael is getting in on the fun here. So then later, Brittany is alone in the Jetsons' bedroom. She's talking to the cameras. And she says, I'm feeling very anxious right now. I don't know why my mind always goes to the worst case scenario sometimes. She says, I feel like I overplayed this week. You think? And she says, I need to just cool it. It's too late for that. But she says, my mind keeps thinking, what if the boys, meaning Monty and Turner, sway Taylor to keep Terrence? Alyssa would be gone. And then in that case, it would be everyone against me and Michael. Michael can't play for HOH next week, so it's all going to come down to me winning. And Brittany says, if I lose HOH, it's going to be me and Michael up on the block. And if Michael wins the power veto, then they're going to get rid of me. So Brittany's trying to pump herself up. She's like, I can win HOH. I just have to beat 5 people. You know, I've beaten 5 people in a competition before. I can do this. So she says her goal here is to make sure that Taylor does not switch her vote, right? She wants to make sure that Taylor is still on board to work with her and Michael. So she says, I have to build trust with Taylor. So in order to do that, Brittany is wondering, what does Taylor value? She's brainstorming here. She says, Taylor values feminism, TV, and jury votes. She says, Taylor loves being seen as a feminist. She loves making good TV, and she wouldn't want to lose jury votes. So those are the things that Brittany is really going to focus on when she's talking to Taylor. All right, so a few minutes later, Taylor and Brittany are chatting in the golf bedroom. And Taylor's like, what is going on here? You know, people are having all these conversations. What's happening? And Brittany says they're just checking in with each other, nothing to worry about. You know, checking in about the votes, campaigning, whatever. So Taylor's like, well, Terrence told me when I talked to him that you want to keep him, but you're outnumbered. And Brittany's like, are you kidding? He didn't even try to pitch to me. You know, he was telling me that I'm going to be the oldest person here after he leaves. I'm going to be the last married person here. So I have to like carry the torch for that. So Brittany says, I honestly almost got like teary eyed when I was talking to Terrence because it seemed like he realized he was going this week. So Taylor's like, well, Terrence is telling me that everyone wants to keep him and that I just won't let shit go from last week. So I told him that I would check in with everyone, but seems like people want to vote Terrence out. So Brittany's like, vote Terrence out with glee. You know, it's going to be an amazing moment. They confirmed to each other they are still voting Terrence out this week. 100% pinky promise. And then Taylor's like, I have to bring something up with you. She's like, when we were talking to Monty and Turner about the vote the other day, this was the meeting when all of the voters were in the same room. She says it felt weird. You know, it wasn't like when the leftovers would meet up in the olden days, just talk some game, be really comfortable with each other. She says it seemed like everyone was waiting for someone else to say something. It reminded her a lot of the pool table conversation, another infamous one from this season, the infamous pool table conversation during Taylor's HOH week when the leftovers were trying to decide, should Kyle use the power veto and then Alyssa would go up and they would send her out. So this conversation was brought up over and over and over again. Oh my God. But Taylor's saying this combo they had the other day is reminding her a lot of that. Brittany agrees. She says, yeah, it was kind of weird. But she says she was hesitant during that combo because she just doesn't know how close Monty and Turner are. This has been her obsession all week, right? How close are Monty and Turner? So Taylor's like, Turner and Monty are not locked in like that. They're pretty locked in though. Okay. So, yeah, Taylor's like, can I ask you something else? Like, can I ask you something that kind of bothered me the other day? Why did you ask me who I would put up if I won HOH? So it sounds like Taylor is worried that Brittany is doubting her. And Brittany's like, oh, I was just curious, like where your head was at, because you and I have like 3 different plans going right now to get to the end. So I just wanted to make sure that we were aligned, that we're thinking the same thing, we're on the same page, because we're going to have to pick a plan soon. And I want to make sure that we do that together. So Taylor seems satisfied with that answer. It makes sense to her. It checks out. So then Alyssa and Michael come in and bust up that conversation. All right. So then we did get a late night camera talk from Michael in the HOH room. And Michael's like, live feeders, what a day. What a day. What a day. He says Brittany is apparently running around to everybody when she doesn't have to. Like, she really doesn't need to be doing this week. But he says, Brittany is my number 1, and I do still have her back. But, and it's a big one, he says, Brittany is not doing herself any favors right now. And if she's a sinking ship, I'm not going down with her. I am not going down with that ship. So he's not going to risk his game because Brittany is wilding out right now. So he says, plan A is to win the power veto next week, right? Keep himself safe. And he's like, I know that's not a good plan, but I sure will try to win, right? Because that would guarantee his safety next week since he can't play for HOH. Honestly, though, Michael is not in like a terrible spot going into this next, well, I want to say week, but like we know it's a double. I mean, you'd think he would be bottom line, target number 1, but he has a chance to not be the target, even if he doesn't win the veto. But Michael says, I need to have some more conversations with Monty and Taylor, see where they're at right now. And then Michael starts explaining again why Terrence should be the one to go this week over Alyssa. He says Terrence has to go because everyone would want to sit next to him in the final 2, right? He doesn't have super strong jury connections at this point. He doesn't have much on his resume to show the jury. And if he won HOH, he would put me up, right? And that's not good. If I was on the block, he would vote me out. That's not good. So it makes a lot of sense for Michael to target Terrence at this point. But anyway, that's all last night. Today, it got off to a little bit of a slow start. There were some game conversations, but of course, these house guests always start talking like in the hour leading up to our live stream here when I'm like doing other things and can't possibly be watching the feeds. So we're going to talk about all that tomorrow. But bottom line is, as of now, Terrence is still leaving tomorrow. I don't see this flipping. I mean, you never know what kind of craziness can happen, but it seems like Terrence will still be leaving tomorrow. And then we know it's a double eviction night, baby. So, hello. Baby. Yeah. We'll see what happens in that second eviction. Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
All right. So, I want to thank all of our super chatters today. Yay! Isn't today the 7th?
Uh-huh.
We're on the 6th. But this is today, right? Today's the 7th, right? Am I going crazy? No, yeah, it is the 7th.
It is.
Okay, no worries.
I don't know why I wrote that.
I just wanted to make sure I was on the right page.
That was dumb.
So, our super chatters, Norm the Cat. Thank you so... Oh, wait. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Norm the Cat, thank you so much. Vincent Campos, thank you so much. And Vincent says, bye-bye, Terrence. # Team Michael. Woo!
Are you Team Michael?
I'm definitely like, he's one of the people I'm rooting for.
Okay.
I think he's just been playing a game on such a higher level than everybody else. Right? But yeah, I'm rooting for multiple people at this point. Mm-hmm. Callie, thank you so much. Callie says the men are more afraid of 3 women who have 2 competition wins between them teaming up than Michael, who has 9 comp wins alone. Misogyny is a hell of a drug. I know, right? It's insane to me that they are like creating this alliance with Michael and actually planning on like sticking with it, at least for now. That's wild. But thank you for your super chat and thank you for pointing that out. Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Jody says it's 104 out here and by the house. Oh my god. It says ice cream party. Seriously, stay cool. I also saw like
vegan ice cream party.
Yeah, with all of those crazy temperatures, they're also telling people like to not run their ACs all day because they're worried that like
the grid's gonna
like
implode,
collapse or whatever. That's so effed. Oh my god. So I hope everybody who's in extreme heat right now is staying safe. Robel Afiram, thank you so much. And Robel says, looks like production is also playing Big Brother this season. As much as I love Joseph, I wonder.
When are they not playing Big Brother?
True. I wonder what else they've pushed this season. Yeah, I didn't see the exact clip, but I saw people talking about how Terrence was saying that production was encouraging him to keep Joseph during the Dire Fest week.
Is that right?
And not to target Joseph. Interesting.
Mm.
So yeah, he was talking about that. I'm really curious, like what the influence is like during diary room sessions. I've always been curious about that, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, they have their favorites, right? They have their storylines that they want to keep going.
Don't they have a storyline coordinator that basically is like, all right, this is going to be your storyline, push it?
Possibly
in the diary room.
So, I mean, it's possible.
That's gonna lead their game.
Yeah, but when I think of like the storyline, I think of like who is crafting. Like, this is what we're putting in the episode. This is what, you know, out of what they have. But I'm sure like once they have those storylines established, they want to see them go somewhere, right? I don't know. Yeah, reality TV is a very curious place. Dane Thomas.
Very scripted.
Yeah. Dane Thomas, thank you so much for the super chat. Laura G, thank you so much for the super chat. And Laura says, Terrence needs to go. You know what I'm if I never hear that phrase again, it will be too soon. I feel like I missed something.
No, that's what I wrote down.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Terrence, I'm done with him. Thank you again, Laura. Taylor Fulmer, thank you so much. And Taylor says, in my opinion, I think it's gross that Terrence wanted to do this family reunion alliance. That's the one with Taylor and Monty.
That's what they're calling it? The family reunion?
That's what Terrence is calling it, yeah. Okay, wait. In my opinion, I think it's gross that Terrence wanted to do this family reunion alliance so bad, which is based on race, when Kyle was such an evil racist to even think that this could happen. Love y'all. Yeah, this is just it's getting very, very messy for sure. Meme Robin, thank you so much for the super chat. And Robin says,
meme or Mimi?
Oh, I thought it was meme, but if it's Mimi, what's up?
Like grandma?
Yeah, it could be Mimi Robin. They said, I feel bad for Taylor. Hi. When she hears the disgusting filth that he has said about her. After that, she will be glad that she was able to get him out this week. I know. I feel bad because Taylor, she's going to be seeing some stuff that these house guests have said about her when she gets out of that house.
I hope she's got a whole case of Lay's.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time, she's also going to be seeing such an outpouring of love and support from the viewers. So, I mean, that's going to feel good, right?
She's going to see that big, beautiful award that she got.
Yeah. So, I'm sure her family and friends will be telling her what was up. Kenny D, thank you so much for the super chat. My goodness, so generous. We really appreciate that. Kenny asks, is Britt using hypnosis as jury management? Was she incepting Alyssa on the infamous floaty? You know, I was wondering preseason when she was talking about the one-day preseason when she let us know that she is a hypnotherapist or whatever. I was wondering if she would be using that in the game at all.
Suggestion.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like she's been doing anything like that, but I do think that even just like calming everyone down and taking them through guided meditations has helped her game, because I noticed early on she kept doing it like after she would like mess something up and get caught for it. So I think, you know, to an extent she has been using it in a way, but not like
blatantly.
Not blatantly, yeah. That's interesting, yeah.
Is that pool floaty even a thing anymore? How did that thing not pop with two people banging on it?
Because it was Kyle. It was short.
It was
yeah. Oh my god. Thanks again, Kenny. Arjun writes, thank you so much. And Arjun asks, Maddie, what's your favorite BB season ever? Oh my God, so much pressure. I mean, you really can't go wrong with like the first All Stars 7, season 7.
I would
6,
say 2.
amazing. 2, amazing. Like, there's so many good seasons out there. Oh, so many good seasons. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for being here. We have an episode recap tonight. Should be fun with BB Comics, right? If you haven't already checked them out, they're out there. So you might want to look them up before the show. Did you look at them yet?
No.
Oh, you should look
I like to be surprised for the show.
All right. Well, we'll be back later. So until then, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. Bye.